Hi! So you probably heard some recent reports, let's say during this week and last week, about Russian soldiers in Ukraine that are having big problems with discipline and moral. Russian soldiers that are surrendering, that are also, let's say, throwing away their weapons. They don't want to fight against Ukrainians. They don't want to shoot on civilians, or they're being captured, or they are also, let's say, looting and stealing stuff, like as in food stores and similar. Now, how to understand such behaviors? So one way to do that is to read earlier history when it comes to Russian military and problems like when it comes to discipline, psychology, behaviors. And what I want to present here during this short video is one of my favorite books I have at home, which is written by Arkady Babchenko. So he was young when he was drafted as a soldier to fight during the second Chechnya war, so in 1996, 1997. And the book, as you can see here, so it's in Swedish, it's called Krigets färger, which means the colors of war. But the English name of the book is One Soldier's Story in Chechnya. Now, why this book is very interesting for me, why I like it very much, is because it's based on Babchenko's personal experience, personal memories during his time as a soldier in a war. And what the book is very much about is that he is experiencing a reality that is completely different from, let's say, what politicians are saying, what people in his neighborhood are saying to him or believing in. So on one way you have this kind of rhetoric about defending the motherland and preserving Russia as a federation, and you're doing good things for the nation. And then at the same time you have a very different reality, which is that not only that you're facing a brutal enemy like the Chechen rebels, like in Grozny and other parts of Chechnya, but also that you have problems in your own units, in your own army. So you have this kind of penalistic system of stigmatization and mistreatment of soldiers by officers and military superiors. You also have cases of Russian officers and other, let's say, high-ranking soldiers. There are selling weapons to Chechen rebels, so they are exchanging AK-47s or AK-74s in order to get heroin, alcohol, and other stuff, so to say, during wartime. So this book for me is still very fascinating because it's an individual story, and it's really a story about showing that how to say, how governments can behave towards people, how they can basically brainwash, they tell people one thing and then the reality is something different. And his book is very much mainly about young Russian soldiers, as I said, not only facing the enemy but also facing an enemy within their own formation, with their own army. So if you're more interested in these topics, I can really recommend you to read the book and to follow Babchenko on Twitter and to read his articles. He's actually in Ukraine at the moment. Well, he came to Ukraine already several years ago because he had problems with the Russian government as a oppositional writer, as a I would say as a regime critique. And he's using his military experience also and journalistic experience to analyze the current war in Ukraine. So thank you very much for listening, and I wish you a pleasant day.